If you're part of a church staff, a deacon, an elder, or even just a member of the church care team, we totally get it. It can be a bit tough when someone asks about the Johnson family and you suddenly realize it's been weeks or even months since you last saw them. But don't worry, you're not alone in this. Our church care is here to help. We know how important it is to keep in touch with families, and sometimes it can feel like they slip through the cracks. It's easy for our spreadsheets to become outdated, and we understand that notes don't get written down. Let's work together to ensure every family feels seen and connected. We're so excited to share that the Our Church Care program was designed just for you. It ensures that every family in your congregation receives a personal touch and regular check-ins. The best part? You get to choose how often that happens. We're here to support you every step of the way. Getting started is a breeze. We're thrilled to guide you through the process and share all the wonderful things our church care can do for you. You'll see just how easy it is to connect with every family on your church roll and make sure no one is ever missed again. Just click the Get Started button and then fill in your church information. Click to agree to the terms of service and click Create My Church Account. Our church is set up and ready to go. Notice everything is empty right now, but there's a personal dashboard for every user to see which families are assigned to them. And for church admins and church staff, there's a church overview that shows the entire church's health. The church overview is not available on regular volunteers' dashboards. To start out with, let's go ahead and import our families. Most churches have their families set up on a document somewhere. Simply download our templated CSV file, fill in the information, and then drop it here, and we import the families automatically. Once we hit the Upload and Preview button, it shows us that the document found 17 families, and that there are 55 members in those families. We can see all of the information. It tracks where the families are, their phone numbers, email addresses, and how they relate to each other, the head of the house, the spouse, and children. Once we confirm and import these 17 families, we'll notice that all of their information is here. It tells us how many members are in each family and when the last time they were contacted was. So if we go back to our dashboard, we can see that now we have 17 total families. 17 of those are overdue because we've just imported them and they haven't been contacted yet. We also have a dashboard that shows upcoming birthdays, so that way it gives us an easy opportunity to have a reason to reach out and contact that family. The staff dashboard shows all overdue families and the recent activity for the church. Let's go ahead and look at our families. Let's start with the Anderson family. We can see that all of their information is here in one nice, easy-to-find place when their next due date is for a contact and who they're assigned to. Right now, they're not assigned to anyone because we've just imported them. Let's assign them to ourselves. We can also see every individual person in the family and their information as well. What makes this special is that at the heart and soul of the application is logging the contacts, so you know when the last time a family was reached out to. Whenever we do this, we keep a running history and we know what things are going on with that family and when the last time they were contacted was. We can click from our pre-populated methods of contact. We'll say that we had a home visit with them and that they were reached. We can see that there are also different outcomes for each one of these. We'll just say that this one was completed. If contact is being entered at a later date, you can always pick the date that the contact actually occurred. If you leave it blank, it automatically puts in the current date and time. Now we can see that they have information in their contact history that anyone can see. We also see that their due date was made for 30 days from now. If we go back to our dashboard, we can see I've reached 100% of the families assigned to me. For the entire church, we now have 16 overdue families instead of 17, and we've covered 6% of the entire church. But what happens if we decide that we don't want a 30-day contact window? We want a 14-day contact window. We can go into our church settings and change that to 14 days. When that happens, we can go back and see now that the Anderson family needs to be contacted again on April the 28th, instead of 30 days away from April the 14th when this was entered in. Just to show one of our features, let's change that to a 5-day. Whenever you have a family that is within 1 week of being contacted, this shows up for all of your users. So that way, they know that they have a family that needs to be contacted within this week. They also show up in the families that need attention. They'll be yellow if they're not overdue. If they are overdue, they'll show up as red, like the families in the overdue list. Let's create new users so that we can assign other families to different members of our care teams. We go and add a user. You can see that in the roles there is a church admin with full access to everything, the staff who can manage families and create follow-ups, and the volunteers who can view their assigned families, create follow-ups, and mark their list complete as well. We're going to leave Jane as a volunteer so that we can show what her dashboard looks like. Before logging in as Jane, we need to make sure that Jane actually has families assigned. We have a tool so we can see all of our unassigned family list. We can assign the Bennett family to Jane. And now we see that Jane is assigned to the Bennett family. Let's give her another family. Let's also give her the Carter family. Now we're going to log in as Jane. You can see our volunteer dashboard looks a little different. We only see the families that are assigned to the volunteer. Notice the 2 families that we just assigned to Jane are both overdue. We can see all of Jane's families here. She doesn't have to see the entire list, but if she does need to, there's always the family list so that she can go and find information about anyone that she meets. So let's go and log our contacts with the Bennett family. Let's say that she reached out via phone and found a prayer request. But let's set the date. This contact happened was 7 days ago. We can see that because the church settings are set to every 5 days. The Bennett family is still 2 days overdue. We have the contact that was logged, but when we go to our dashboard, they still show us overdue. Let's go back in and log another contact, just a text message where they were reached out to. We'll leave that as today. The dashboard lets me know immediately that I have families that I need to contact. But what about that prayer request that was uncovered? That's where our follow-ups come into play. Whenever we find a prayer request or something that needs follow-up by a church staff member specifically, or anyone else, you can create that follow-up. We select the Bennett family, and it can be assigned to ourselves or to a church admin or someone else. We'll assign this one to our John Smith account. We can set the priority. We'll say that this one's urgent. This has been 7 days since we found out about that. For the due date, we'll set it for tomorrow. And now, if you notice, we don't see it here. That's because it's assigned to one of the church staff admins. So let's log back in as John Smith and see what that looks like from his perspective. Now, when we go to our follow-ups, we can see there's the follow-up that was assigned. We can see that the Bennett family is dealing with the sickness of a family member. This lets church staff know about important things that come up that are found out by your care team. We can say that the follow-up was completed to close it. So now that follow-up has been completed, we can see those completed follow-ups as the church admin and know everything that's going on. When we go back to our dashboard, we do notice that we still have our one family assigned to us. But if we notice, due this week are also the families that are assigned to Jane and which ones haven't been contacted. Our church care is built around this one single idea. Every family in your church deserves consistent, intentional care, and your staff shouldn't have to build a system from scratch to make that happen. All you do is import your families, add your team, and set up the follow-up frequency. The hard part is done. Everything else is just staying connected. There's something special when you receive a personal contact as a family in a congregation from someone at the church. It creates closer and tighter-knit bonds and also can help to get those families more involved in the ministry opportunities that the church is providing while making sure they don't fall through the cracks. Our church care offers this free 30-day trial to make sure that we're a right fit to resolve your problems, making sure that you stay connected before you commit.